Hey, yeah, it's Puueds, and I was thinking of making a level for the Space Gauntlet Contest, but all the ideas I have are just... Well, I guess it's accurate. I don't know, man. If only there was some sort of... hopefully not monetary reward, or some inspiration to make an entry. Damn it.
The Space Gauntlet Contest is the most impressive contest I have ever seen in Geometry Dash. There are so many entries in here that are just too good. Like, way too good. And to be completely honest, it blew my low expectations out of the water.
I should have not gone near that toilet.
The theme for this contest was, of course, space. But the reason why I had low expectations was that there wouldn't be that many interesting takes on it. I was expecting space stations, asteroid belts, and kind of fancy effects. And that would be it. Not to dismiss the creators that made levels like that, but we got so many other levels that interpret the theme in a different way and carried this contest into an amazing event to be part of.
I'll be talking about what the best of the Space Gauntlet Contest, but also many other entries that weren't as well known. There are about more than 250 entries, and I'll try my best to talk about at least some of them. So strap on in for a retrospective on the Space Gauntlet Contest.
I have to start with thanking a particular creator for making this retrospective possible. If you search up Space Gauntlet entries in the lists section, there are 3 lists cataloging all entries that were made for the contest. The guy who made this is SpaceMagicGD, a very appropriate name, and without him, this would have not been possible. I don't think I could even find like 50 of them if it weren't for his dedication. So make sure to give their list a like and check them out. From the list, there's about 260 to 270 entries in the contest, give or take, and a lot of them are unrated. I wanted to take a look at the levels that didn't really explode in popularity first or weren't even rated, so let's start with the very first level on the list, Hades. Hades by Zypher is a solid design style level that plays more like an easier demon than the Gauntlet's required difficulty range. It is quite unwieldy, but I really love the last part's colors and open-ended space that you fly through. It's quite fun. Not sure why this wasn't rated though, even until now. Then we have Space Factory by GD. It looks really vibrant. It's completely not what I expected for a space entry, and I think this part proved it. Like, what is going on here? It's themed around a factory, hence the name. And it's just cute seeing the effort put into the level. Spacewalker by Uncas feels very alive with nearly every object you see is actually moving. This level started as a block deco test as said on the end screen, and it's awesome seeing this turn into a fully fledged entry for the contest. I really like the particles within the blocks, and I'm not sure I've seen anyone else do it like this before. Other Side by Pike Nuke is pretty neat. It's quite floaty and is closer to what space actually is, though it is quite lacking in terms of any impact or pulses, and it doesn't really change much throughout the level. The level, if anything, shows how creators of any skill level were still interested in the contest even if it's extremely competitive. Generic Space Level by Entity 350 is by all means not a generic space level. It might need some extra polishing, but the level design it offers is reminiscent of 2.0 levels just screwing around with move triggers, and it's just fun to play. The dual part confused the hell out of me when the two cubes merge together. When it hits the green orb just right about here, the camera decides to crap itself. I shouldn't have played Geometry Dash on my bed for this one.
Oh god damn it.
When I checked it initially, it wasn't rated, but now it actually did. So huge congrats. And that's just 5 of them in this list, let alone everything else. Looking at these more amateur levels, it harkens back to the creator contest I remember around 2.0 to early 2.1, and it's kinda nice seeing the community at large. From the list, they comprise about half to 2/3 of the total entries in this contest. There's a few more levels I want to touch upon before moving on. Galactic Geometry by Mindgold 3 is surprisingly not rated. It does look good, but I just assume it got lost in the sheer amount of entries because it's not that bombastic. Cosmos by GhostGamer000 and more is in the same boat, and so is Last Word by Kastein. Okay, this should really be rated. And so is Zeta Space by Decubi. Looking from the description, I don't speak Spanish, but that word really speaks to me.
This is one of the words where no matter what language you speak, you have to unfortunately pull out your tongue. To demonstrate how,
You can check out the other entries on the list because I only went through the first 15. Yeah, who would have guessed that 260 entries were a lot to get through. Within the first 15, I played this one level that actually got rated other than generic space level. Cosmic Sonodor hosted by Urge is a sequel to his previous levels Cosmic Fiesta and Cosmic Delphin. This is one of the sickest design style entries I've ever seen. Look at this, the colors work really well together here. Even Raver commented on it, just cool stuff. This is definitely demon though, some parts require practice. Wait, what did he mean by the... Oh. The Space Gauntlet Contest had a few criteria to meet outside of being space themed. It had to be in the classic format, which means no platformer levels. It had to be longer than 1 minute, so only XL or long were fair game. Someone could make an 11-minute long level to this and it would technically qualify. But the most important part was that it was the difficulty of the level that could only range from easy 2 stars to an insane 9 stars. No demons were allowed, which is quite unfortunate for Cosmic Sonodor and other levels like it too. This is not really a bad thing. It probably came from previous contests where most of the best entries were demons. It happened in the NCS Gauntlet, and outside of contests, it happened with the Water Gauntlet. Because of this, we've been seeing more gauntlets on the easier end because trying to beat 5 demons in a row is, well, there's a lot of levels that are almost pushing it, with some being at 9 stars and an XL length. Your Last Desire by Fader Cat is pretty cool as you get to choose what planet you want to go to, such as Bongo where the hazard is Poland.
What? Need a hazard safety procedure for that.
Dalian where the hazard is interestingly 1.2x gravity and it's quite fun to play, and Drawn where the hazard is tripping over rocks.
Need a hazard safety procedure for that too.
This level is genuinely really sick. It's just got really good cutscenes, and then you actually start playing a rhythm game. The UV Catastrophe by Camocat is quite interesting. It's a feature to just read the revolution of astrophysics in the 1900s. Legit, the creator is just explaining it all, and each part in the level represents what he's talking about. This is like Space I Guess by Hip Villain, but it goes much further in learning about space concepts and physics. If you decide to play the level, it is insane. Like, look at this, and look at that, and just, what the? It's kinda hard to play and see what's going on at times, but my god, he put in so much effort here. Super Collider by Eorb is definitely a demon, and a medium one at that. It's actually quite cool, but it's a demon thanks to literally where the spikes are placed near the orbs, which makes it so that you have to time nearly every single one of them. Coupled with the gameplay that fades into view to the point you need to memorize it, and a duel at the drop, this level is really cool, just too difficult to qualify. Miracle by Azure is not an easy demon despite what it says. It's definitely a medium or even hard demon because what is going on? It looks really good, but it's so intimidating to play because the gameplay is so sync based, which makes it really learny. Even the description admits it's a demon. Mirage by Eliana and Z Amethyst is a level that's... it has a pregnant man emoji in it.
How did this emoji come into existence? Oh, my test is done. Pregnant?
Moving on, from the NCS Gauntlet into the Space Gauntlet Contest, there was definitely a concern over really detailed and realistic art levels, or levels that really emphasized on the impressive visuals. The issue people didn't want was mostly having realistic levels that was simply floating in space. Now that the contest is over, we got a healthier mix. It's probably because space at a surface level is just this, but when you look into, say, how people historically interpret it, it becomes so much more expressive. And what better entry to talk on the theme was a level released early into the contest, Planispheres by Flash. This is my second favorite entry in the contest, period. The theme revolves around the planisphere, which is a round star chart that helps you find constellations and stars at night. If you tried using this during the day, I wouldn't fault you for asking for a refund, but I think a lot of us will be disappointed.
Is this broken?
What I love about this level is that it takes that device and grounds it as an ancient and surreal observatory without being too stereotypically magical. Take this first part for example. There are so many intricate details that you will notice on your attempts, but when you pause it, you get to really take it all in. The GD blocks and its colors on the roof and floor are unlike anything I've ever seen, and the attempt counter is in Roman numerals and stylized with a serif font. The next few parts are so cool too. Constellations in a sort of underwater feeling part with these coral reef details. This is very 2.0 Core-like. The thumbnail maker, and the gameplay rotating around a disc. There was so much care put into the details and especially the transitions. All the transitions involve a circle, which is a good callback to the planisphere shape, and they are some of the most natural transitions I've ever seen. The gameplay is not really intense. I would describe it as compact. It feels like you have to weave your way through, and it's a really nice change of pace. There are no 3x or 4x speed portals in this level. The song is then really fitting when you combine those elements together. This is more of a personal thing, but I love the fact that it's not XL. A lot of the entries are, and this one is just a minute. It's a surreal and tightly knit package that makes you wonder at first what the level is themed on. Now, with the way I describe it for about a minute, it sounds like it would have placed in the gauntlet. But the thing is that it didn't even make it into the top 20. When looking into Viprin's playlist, it's ranked by placement, and if we work off that assumption, it got 27th.
Damn.
Planispheres isn't the only level to theme itself differently. A similar level that I previously mentioned is Space I Guess by Hype Villain, which placed at 11th. This level is just sick. Its theme revolves around mathematical and physics concepts, but I'd also wager it revolves around exploration in general. There's text all throughout the level telling a story about how humans deciding to mark down things in space and knowing still so little about it. In my opinion, it's one of the best stories ever told in Geometry Dash, and what makes it even better is that it's not that intrusive. You can play the level and not even bother to read it, but when you do, it's kinda thought-provoking. Oh, right, the decoration and gameplay. The decoration, you've probably seen it yourself, it's great. The gameplay is good, for the most part. There are times where I had to really memorize what to do and it does get quite stressful. Sometimes it's not that intuitive on where you should click, and there's player indicators to help you there, but it isn't ideal. But overall, it's a solid level. There's more levels such as Out of Place by D. Giorgetto, which looks really good and it's a unique stenciled take on space art, but I'm surprised it placed in the top 10 when the gameplay is not fun. I get it if it was going for a vibe, but dying after the first attempt makes it really grueling to actually go beat the level. The drop part is genuinely rough. Despite every other part being pretty freeform, this requires you to click to the indicators and the orbs. That's not bad in of itself, it's that the execution of this being so freeform, it makes it so that it's awkward to either follow it or not. I genuinely got mad playing this level despite knowing the rest of the level is actually good. Hideout by Brain Eater was really hype when it dropped. I remember seeing previews on it on Viprin server randomly, and now playing the level, it's a banger. The art style is extremely refreshing, although in my opinion a bit all over the place with its colors at times, but still it's an extremely vibey and feel good to play level that I wish made it in. Point of View by BPI is a level I played when it actually released or got featured. Despite being an entry, personally I never felt like it gave space vibes. It literally has most of the imagery you would expect of space, but its focus on perspective and vibrant architecture is really cool, but not related. It's still a very good level though. Cat's Invasion by Q Mystic and more is visually really impressive. Everyone just did a really good job at their parts, but I'm pretty confused by the Paper Dragon boss fight. It's cool, but the gameplay is a lot to be desired, with so many visuals trying to get your attention from their movements or bright saturated colors. It is kinda rough to play. Space Trip by Phalix and more is really solid. The transition from Bugsy Cat swatting me to the next part is the equivalent of Noble Boy's logo in subterranean animism. It's still really awesome though. Before you get into the drop, you might notice this silhouette. That's right, it's... Okay, I actually don't know. I tried asking Phalix about it and he just responds with Lamau. Okay, so I guess this guy's Lamau. Redshift by Arbin Grax is so good. It's got a really unique and polished presentation of its ideas, typical Arbin Grax stuff. The level is really refreshing that it isn't so bombastic on visuals, except for this transition. The drop is really lovely, and that same transition is just insane. How did they do it? And Cosmosis by Hawks and Shutter Iron is pretty sick. You get to play an alternative universe of Robtop making a mini, normal, and big mode. There's a lot of variety here, and while it doesn't do anything too bold with the theme, it is a fun and cute romp. And there's a crap ton of well less known levels such as Fly High by Uztex, an underrated and really good design level, and Fallen Starlight by SpaceMagicGD. Okay, this part is just absolutely peak, and I really dig the vibes of this level. And it's not even rated yet. One Cube's Trash by 2Sip is a bit rough on the edges, but I'm somewhat surprised we didn't get more floatier entries. It's a genuinely serene romp, and I like how 2Sip went in on the element of trash in space. Lonely Planet by Fenico, despite saying it being the laziest entry as said by themselves, I personally think that if the Space Gauntlet was announced like 8 years ago, this level would be a genuine contender. It just has good vibes and simple block design. And I would say the same for Magic Comet by JCatGD. It feels so much like an early 2.1 or early 2.2 level, but it's so fun to play. The point I wanted to make is that thanks to the theme being more flexible than we thought, we got a ton of entries that were design, or illustration, or simply used GD blocks as best as they could, and you can still see it in the top 20 as well. As for the other levels that didn't make it into the top 20, Mirage by Fox GDD and more is more than 3 minutes long. I love the block design throughout the entire level though. Defining and Defying by Galalov is interesting both visually and gameplay. It's a combination of clean art and very GD feeling blocks. It even features an animation, though it transitions weirdly to the second half of the level with not much context as to how it does. But the gameplay does utilize negative gravity and is actually quite fun to play after you learn it. Great job. Typewriter by Xpart, I remember it releasing pretty early into the contest and I did like it. The visuals are a good change of pace away from design or art, which would have been really nice in the Gauntlet had it made it in. I also remember dying at the last part and I definitely got pissed. Kiss of Fortune by Senior Saturno, who is the brother of Lyle, but what the? Starblade Aster by El Mato Swag, Norb's Finale by Gruzzy, Star Malay by Goober194 and Hack695, these names are so similar, and Moonswirler by Looney Stellar. All these levels are still so sick, and honestly, it's rough knowing that some of these just have to get cut out of the gauntlet because it's so damn competitive again. Before we get into the results, I do want to point out some funny things I found on the list. I made a spreadsheet for all the Space Gauntlet Contest entries, and this is what I found. 38 of the about 260 entries have the word space in it. A funny one is Now That's Space by Ducky3661, and a really cool entry called I Miku Space I by Ziza69. There is actually 2 eyes at both the front and the back of the name, if you want to search it up. It has Hatsune's and it has Miku's. Approved. There are 14 entries that have the word cosmic as either the title or the first word. Space Cosmics by Pika is the only exception outside of those 14 entries where it does have the word but it's not the first word.
This is the other word where you have to pull out your tongue. Damn it, Pika!
The other entries are Cosmic Sonodor by Urge, Cosmic Traveler by Costa106, Cosmic by DigiViper, Cosmic Cascade by GigsRH, Cosmic Code by Carnitine, Cosmic Road Trip by HurdyGD, Cosmic Madness by KizzyBro7, Cosmic Journey by IrisWolfX, Cosmic Odyssey by It's Iron Phasma, Cosmic Voyage by Enero For Real, Cosmic Infernus by Soundwave173, Cosmic Jump by AP Storm, Cosmic Abyss by TDT56, and Cosmic Crush by KZ. Sigma Cosmos is a level that has a quiz at the end. This is literally near impossible for me. It's the colorblind numbers test, but everyone is on a much more better equal playing field because how the hell are you supposed to tell if this is a 3 or a 7? 18 entries have the word star in their name, only 3 have the word galaxy in their name, same goes for moon, and 1 level has a name Gauntlet of Space, which is by Joe Beast. Fair enough, it is a gauntlet. This is basically Hungry Humphrey, the Space Gauntlet Contest edition. I don't know what to even make of this, but it would be really funny if this made it into the gauntlet. Now we can get into talking about the results. I'll start by saying that I like most of the top 20 entries. I'll be brief on my thoughts on each entry, as you can find most of my thoughts just aligning with Wolsey's video on it, mostly because I just agree with what he thinks on it and what he brings to the table in terms of just looking at the decoration and gameplay. Cosmic Crush by KZ is really stylistically nice, but it's not really my thing surprisingly. The backgrounds are well made, but it just being there reminds me of Wallpaper Engine in the best way I can possibly mean it. Sick 2D animation before the drop though. I never heard of Hyperstralis before, but somehow I did actually play it. I'm surprised we didn't get more entries like these. I really like how it's going for an emotional feel with the song. It's making me think back on J.Crew's levels, particularly at the drop. I'm surprised the level is quite short, clocking in about 1 minute and 30 seconds, probably because I'm so used to the other entries being way longer. The drop gameplay is not really that smooth despite it trying to be. You don't do that many clicks and it focuses on player movements, which looks nice, but it is quite awkward and stressful to play, but everything else is pretty much solid. Echo Delta by Sapunj, Comet Face and Audiovisual is my third most favorite entry. It's extremely unique and it feels like I'm being challenged while playing it. I did hear some nightmare moments of building to this prior to the deadline where they had just the last day to go decorate this part and had a few hours to polish up everything. Just what? In terms of thoughts, this part is awesome, this part is awesome, this part is so unique and also awesome. I love how open it is and I wish we had more levels doing stuff like this. This part is also awesome. This spider segment is literally what I wanted to see happen with camera triggers in 2.2. This weird shifting gravity part is also awesome. This dual wave is a bit rough to play, but really insane with its effects. This dual part is really fun to play, and the effects in this last part are so sick, and the end screen is the best way to cap it off. Great job, you guys. Galacticus by Denbra Z is really cinematic, and not gonna lie, I dig it way more than I expected. It has so many fun ideas and it has well incorporated on-the-nose QuickTime events. It's pretty cute, like seriously. I really enjoyed climbing out the chains and to just light them up. It's very cool and really fun. Gameplay wise, it is a struggle at times, but really, if you just practice it, it becomes super enjoyable. Mission Icarus is basically my 4th favorite entry. It was made in 16 days. Okay, what's with these levels being made at the last minute? I have to thank Darwin because this song is such a banger. There's so much progression in this level and it's always a blast to play it even after you finish it. 102 Blues by Painting Orange is a level I wish I could make if I put in the time and effort. It is just generally very unique and very good. Cosmic Drop by AP Strom and Kinetic Frost is also really well made, even though it plays into the typical space station take. I just dig it a lot. I already spoke about Space I Guess and Cat's Invasion, but Vulcan by Plexify GD and more is well made, but I don't really have anything to say about it. It doesn't do a lot of interesting things in my opinion. You do get to fight a mechanical bee. This is the sequel to Bee we've been all waiting for. Stardust Sanctuary by Globphobos is sick, but I remember being kinda ambivalent towards it. It is absolutely good, but for some reason I don't really resonate with the theme. I don't know, I can't even think of a rational reasoning. It does have a good song, and honestly I dig it. The Beyond by Lao was completely unexpected to land in the top 10 in my opinion, and my god, I'm glad it did. It is a solid design level that is just generally well made to play. Even with some of its more camera weird sections with this 15-degree tilted cube part and the wave, honestly it's still good. I love it when the Beyond appears. It's a really unique take on a level title card when I think about it. I don't think any other level has made their title appear like 3 times and not get people sick of it. And the duels? Damn, that's absolutely so good. I have never heard of Drover by Debenham before the results. I did play the NCS entry Cabrita, and just looking at it, how many times am I gonna say it's good? I like how open it is with the camera being really zoomed out. It gives it a much more different energy that fits for the song and the level. Respect for having to deco way more because of this. I already talked about Out of Place, so we'll just move on to the next level. Alien Dream Emulator by Kira 9999 is weird and insane. Like, how do you do all this? It's actually so overwhelming. And the coolest thing about it is that it references other entries that were released before it did. Planispheres, Space I Guess, Point of View, Defining and Defying, Stardust Sanctuary, Kiss of Fortune, and 102 Blues. I wonder if Kira was inspired by Dansman Spider boss fight in Down Under here. Final Orbit by Blee and MSM12. Dog, what are these cutscenes? How? The realistic lighting? Let's just watch this for a moment. Alright, I forgot we were actually playing a level. It's still really polished after that too, although the parts are kinda all over the place. The gameplay is taking a hit from the focus on visuals, though it is manageable if you practice it. Regardless, it looks amazing. Also, what the 45 seconds before the deadline? Aperture by Chunov 1, Renomi, and Manny 2003 is my favorite entry, hands down.
Hands are down, and I agree with myself.
Everything about this level ties together extremely well. The level has space elements, but it uses an element of the camera called an aperture. That is the adjustable opening of a lens which controls how much lighting comes through. What I love about this level is that everything just relates to that. Whether it be circular designs or even gameplay, actual set designs, and scenes relating to photography and film, and my god, even animating a character to do that camera gesture. It's all so perfect. You all know about the drop and its 3D gameplay, but I have a funny story about it. My birthday was during the lead up to the contest, and I held a birthday party inviting ST Cubing, Phalanx, and Water. ST Cubing saw that Chunov 1, who was the man behind it, was on a call and asked if he could show it. I saw it while I was working on it, and I thought, man, is he making a solo or something? That's actually pretty cool. Nothing about the Space Gauntlet Contest ever went through my mind, even when I saw it was space themed.
Whatever.
And then I went back to celebrating my birthday.
To be fair, I was busy becoming 21 that day.
It didn't even win. Everyone, and I mean everyone, was just expecting this to win, and seeing it in 4th place was quite shocking. Space Science Continuum by SpaceMagicGD is one hell of a comeback level. The colors, the detail, the song, the transitions, the gameplay, everything, it's so good. I can see how it placed above Aperture, even though it can kinda drag for a while when playing. This huge cog part is just insane. It's an overall amazing entry and comeback for himself. Kisaragi by MC is neat. You get to hop on a Toyota car and then instantly travel to space. I didn't know Toyotas did that.
You're telling me that this car among all of the Toyota cars can just teleport? Wait, can I buy one? Hey, excuse me, can I go buy one?
It looks really good, and it's another level that's more than 3 minutes long. Wait, what is going on? Outside of that, the gameplay? Okay, with orbiting around a star and a level still sinking after that, that is some amazing technical work. And finally, Abducted by VegTam. Honestly, I'm kinda surprised this got 1st place. Not in a bad way, but like, damn, okay. It opens up like a comic book and ends with flipping pages. It's pretty cute. And it has a really funny story too, which happens to be a very real feeling metaphor for bad transport design. The perspective spider part is really cool, and the rush at the end when you're going through multiple different paths is genuinely one of the best takes of making energetic gameplay. I know some people can say you can beat it in like 9 clicks or somehow even less, but that's not the reason why some people would say the gameplay is bad. I would more so say it's all over the place because there's so much movement, offshoot structuring and things happening which leads to a lot of railroading and hence the clicks. But honestly, with even all the complaints about the gameplay, I still think it's really cool that a level like this just won the contest. It's just unique, really fun, and it absolutely deserved it.
That was not brief at all. But with talking about all this, I have some thoughts that I wanted to talk about with the Space Gauntlet, as well as some potential concerns that have affected this, as well as potentially future other Gauntlet contests if it continues to go like this. Even if we get some banger ass levels, there's a few trends that me, along with a lot of people, have noticed.
First off, the spectacle. Yeah, there's still a lot of it present. It's not always the contest at fault, it's kinda always been a thing. It's just more apparent now because everyone is getting really good. But what I will say is that many creators are leaning towards it in order to have a chance to place. When you see what won before and what's going on in the general creating scene in the feature tab, you just have to up your game. And the best and most creatively fulfilling way to do it is through the visuals, camera work, and effects. This leads to levels that people would say it's more designed for YouTube rather than for players. This is more on the individual creators, but it is starting to split across the scene when multiple creators are doing it. Next is an issue I think is more specific to the Space Gauntlet entries, but it is something to keep of note in general. The amount of XL levels or generally just longer levels. It is rough trying to complete them all. Just a disclaimer, no way I'm advocating for less XL levels when this is up to the creator and what they want to achieve. At times it is better for the level to be XL, and I respect a lot of these entries going for that extra effort. These levels aren't really short and sweet experiences, they are expansive and long. I wonder if for the next few Gauntlet contests, could there be a max level length? Long and XL are already accepted as of now, but there are quite a few levels that go past the 3-minute mark. They are actually approaching Future Funk's length of more than 4 minutes. And the reception of the results? Well, at the end of the day, it is a few judges' opinions. However, I have to wonder what they were looking for specifically. I'm not just asking in terms of criteria and giving them a mark, I want to know why they placed levels at where they did. There is no stated reasoning, just it placed there because, I don't know, we have to figure that out ourselves. Perhaps getting the judging team to write a short statement about each level might be a good idea, though given the community can have not so great reactions to it, for the people who are mature, this acts as a good look into the placements and being able to talk about the great in every level that made it. And finally, there is a lot of focus on visuals to really impress the judges as well as the community, which has made these gauntlets more of a celebration of the best experiences, away from the old style of gauntlets, that being simpler levels. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, it's just something I notice. We as a community have really loved pushing the GD medium as an art form, but we should also consider level design to be just as important and combine those two. There are levels out there that do really well in that, such as Skeletal Shenanigans by Unrated and Airs. It's possible. If there's any takeaway you should get from this, it's that we should consider how we can combine level and gameplay design with your creative vision, and making it fun to enjoy for the players you want to target. Oh yeah, and also Cosmic Level by Mindcap and more. It's a really well made parody of nearly every entry in the contest. Basically hour-long intro, deep text, and an end screen that makes me even bore my eyes out. Let's watch it together.
Dog, are you okay?
This is my 35th favorite entry. It is meant to commemorate the conclusion of the Space Gauntlet Contest, and well, I agree. Let's end it here.
After looking through all these entries, I think I'm finally ready to make my own. It'll be called Cosmic Cyclone 2. Do you think they'll accept entries 2 months after the results?